What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Panels on Pages. My name is Dalibor, and today we're going to be reviewing Across the Spider-Verse.
So wait a minute, there's an elite crew with all the best spider people in it?
Who's the new guy?
This is unbelievable.
This is the lobby.
This is a great movie. This is a fantastic movie. Potentially, possibly even better than the first. I mean, definitely the same. Definitely same quality. Really good movie. It's almost like I almost want to just end it there. But no, for real. The minuscule problems, and I put that in massive air quotes, that I had with it, just completely overshadowed by the amazing animation, the wonderful storytelling. Great damn movie. Great damn movie. I really thought, I was honestly kind of expecting there to be a little more heartstring tugging, but not till the end. Not till some stuff happens. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to try not to do any kind of spoilers, so this is going to be spoiler free. But man, it gets you. It gets you. It gets you when it's done right, when it's well written, and when it's well executed. It gets you. I like the new costume. It's not my favorite Miles Morales costume, but it is what it is. It was a good costume, good for the style of the movie. And honestly, since he was going to be the main dude, I think they minimized the webs, so by essentially removing all the webs he has in his comic book style costume, so that he's easier to animate, because honestly that's really the only reason you would. I also think that's why Peter B. Parker is drawn with a robe. Wow, this is the fact that my brain just couldn't pick up robe. Anyway, he's wearing a robe most of the time, so you only see a little bit of the spider pattern, and then everyone else is so far away, you're not really seeing that deep of a spider pattern. I will say one hilarious bit for me is the amount of times you see Spider-Man Unlimited Spider-Man. There's 3 or 4 of him in that movie, and it's I saw 2 when I first saw it, and I was like, oh, it's kind of funny. I'm maybe just the continuity error. But then when I rewatched the scene, I was like, that's definitely on purpose, because there's at least 4 instances that I saw, and there's probably more. So I was like, oh man, what, who are all these Ultimate Spider-Man Unlimited dudes? I like that show. I think it was probably one of the best Spider-Man shows. Not the best, that goes to Spectacular Spider-Man. I don't want to say forever, but it's pretty high up there. But I really liked Spider-Man Unlimited. It felt to me like a natural progression of the animated series from the 90s. So when it went to that, I was like, oh, but where are Cletus Cassidy and Eddie Brock? And then I didn't care anymore, because the story just kept pushing me forward. So honestly, yeah, anyway, that was a good show. I'm so glad they included him, and I'm so glad they included Ben Reilly. I will say, that is the one of the few things I don't like about the movie, and that's just because I feel like Ben Reilly deserves a little more. I get the bit. I absolutely get the bit. I think it's funny. I just really like Ben Reilly, and Marvel in the comics has been really mistreating him for the last 10 years. So for him to kind of just be the butt of the 90s joke in this, I was like, damn. It is a funny joke, right? It is a funny joke, and if you get it, you get it, and that's why it's funny. But at the same time, when I started reading comics, Ben Reilly was Spider-Man, and I would have loved to see that Ben Reilly, the sensational suit Spider-Man. I would have absolutely loved to see that. I mean, maybe he's in there. Don't get me wrong. The number one thing I would want more than anything, if somebody could be if somebody in the universe, in the industry of film, in the industry of animation, had a way to get me the 3D render, just a paused 3D render when there are the most spiders in the scene, just so I can zoom in to see all of them, because the amount of cameos. I honestly think some of the ones we saw were fan designs from various DeviantArt threads. I'm just gonna leave it at that, because there's definitely one that I'm 73% sure is based on a Fu-Ray design, and I'm that's dope. That's super dope. The way that, I'm just going to say, certain elements were worked into this seamlessly, can't be happier about it. Just, if you haven't seen it yet, absolutely please go see this movie. It is so damn good. Good for the whole family, super fun, super just super. Like, I don't even have any more adjectives. It's a great, great movie. The one other gripe I would even bring up, and that's just because they use the word canon so damn much in this, and now canon is like the thing that is spread throughout the social sphere because of this movie. The fact that they call Miles' universe 1610 bothers the absolute shit out of me, especially, and you know this because of the trailers, they refer to No Way Home, Spider-Man, or Doctor Strange, and the nerd in Earth 19999 or whatever. That bothers me because it's like, it's clearly from a different multiverse, right? My firm belief in No Way Home that we got two Spider-Men from a different, or possibly even two different multiverses. Reasons, honestly, just reasons. They look nothing like one another, whereas like in all the other multiverses from the MCU, everyone looks the same, i.e. the What If show. So, and even in the comics, like when we go into a multiverse, everyone looks the same. They might look a little different, like, you know, in Age of Apocalypse, Cyclops has long hair, but it's like if he cut his hair and had both eyes, he'd look the same. So like that's like an environmental change, not a different appearance change. And in no universe do you tell me that Tom Holland grows up to be either Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not a thing. You can't convince me of that. So I believe that they came from a different multiverse. And the way this movie references both the MCU and its own universe, or its own multiverse rather, potentially other multiverses, including the comic book multiverse, like, it's like, that's not 1610, because if that were 1610, we'd need to like retroactively like adjust some comic book panels and stuff, because it just wouldn't make sense, because Miles did not meet Gwen until after 1610 was no longer, right? So in the comics, so you gotta adjust some things. So you can't just, they could have called it 1611, honestly, and I would have never even said anything. I'd have been like, oh, that's cool, I get it. It's almost like it's similar but not the same. That's all I would have said. But nah, like, also they never named Gwen's universe, because I was like, well, they called his 1610, hers is definitely going to be 65, and then they just said Gwen's Earth, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, what you're gonna, and then proceeded to, I think, pretty sure number every single other Earth we saw except hers. So I don't understand what that's about. That feels intentional because we have all these other universes that are numbered, so like, why not number hers? But at the same time, like, could be any number of things going on. The artwork, like I said, is wonderful. I didn't realize Daniel Kaluuya was, I mean, I guess I could have guessed, but he's, the movies I've seen him in, he's played Americans expertly, so I just assumed he was American. No, definitely British, because I didn't know that was him playing Spider-Punk. Which I'm pretty sure everyone else did, so it was a surprise to me when I saw an interview with him. They were like, oh yeah, Spider-Punk, and I was like, wait, that was him? And I like had to look it up. I was like, no, that really was him. That's crazy. So, but yeah, I didn't realize he was British. Excellent job. I mean, like, excellent job. That's all. I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there. I will say, I'm pretty sure everyone knows this by now, but it is part one. I think it ends on it ends on a great moment that really makes you want the next scene, which to me is the mark of a good cliffhanger. There have honestly only been a few movies, not even counting Infinity War, because that was like, we knew going in it was a two-parter, so I was just like, oh man, what a way to end the first part. Whereas in this, and in specifically the, what's it called, Maze Runner. The Maze Runner movies, the first two, because I think those are the only two I've seen, both of them ended in a way that made me want to see the next one. Like, it ended in such a way where I was like, man, let's go. Like, what's the next thing? So I really feel the ending here. I guess I don't know why anyone would be disappointed by this ending. It sets up the next movie wonderfully. Like, to me, I'm like, yes, let's go. I mean, seems like, based on internet talk, it is going to be a few years, but I'm okay with that. I'm honestly perfectly okay with that. That to me is the mark that they are going to take their time, do the job right, and we're not just going to get a rush sequel, because no one wants that. Absolutely nobody wants that. And even if they did do that, it would do poorly because we would all, as the fans, see that it's a poor product and that it was rushed. And we don't want that. They don't want that because they want the money. This is making money. It's going to continue to make money. And if you haven't seen it, you should absolutely go see it and help it make some more money. And honestly, that's all I'm going to say at this point, because anything else I would want to talk about would require spoilers. And I don't really want to do a spoilers review because that, I think, involves going into a lot of the actual discussion around it, the actual stuff. And honestly, I think a lot of that's just not my place. So I think it's a great movie. I think you should go see it. I think you should bring your whole family to see it. I think you should tell your cousins, your aunties, everybody should go see it. Yeah, absolutely go see that movie. That's going to be it for this one. Just a quick review of Across the Spider-Verse. Next week, I can't even tell you what's next week. It's massive. It's huge. Super excited. Recording it tomorrow. Incredibly excited. And you will see why. Look, I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to lift the camera a little bit. You're going to see it. And I'm not going to tell you. That's all I'm going to say. You don't know. You don't know. I'm not going to tell you. If you're listening and you're not watching, you should definitely tune in next week. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll see you in the next one.
You ain't tell me first. I'ma kill the game with a multiverse. You gotta hold me first. Yeah, but I've been a dick. Never got my credit. Now they dipping for the end of it. I'm about to benefit. Way up. Sorry who I use Zendaya. New whip pocket in the back. I'm mayor. Kill another beat for they pay me. Watch to the max like I'm Jamie.